second part, I would say, the 7 December 2023, 0 hour, 58 minutes. We are having the second part of the conversation. The first one represents the first part of this complaint at this moment as extra reason. The second one, the continued. And it's exposed also that the diffused rights of individuals generally got hurt by local aggression made by local or international corruption. Exposed also by proved evidence and notorious facts that any other logical or conclusive inference, and indeed isn't necessary if complainant has no excuse and facts are notorious. And we will have another thing here, which is exposed by real-time forecast, and in the same way we are suffering a real-time interference, we are doing at the same time the real-time forecast, because we are complaining the aggressions you suffer. We suffer. If you do the aggressions and I'm complaining this, indeed I'm doing the image of your misconduct as a complaint, but not talking with the offenders with the architecture. That if carry problems inside, must solve the problems that are inside. We exposed also by proved evidence, it's not necessary, exposed by real-time forecast that any sensible project or related interest can be hurt by state arbitrariness or institutional violence, even declared as going under regular and standardized patterns or conditions inside the fields of persons violated basic rights or suppressed individuals' guarantees, just like judicial secrecy or secret protocol affected by interference. If our secret protocol is ongoing and we had to do the open data because you modify the context of the development of something, you broke the protocol because it's not supposed to be under your interference or under your systematical intent to get this. In the same way, the judicial secrecy, even as supposed by the circumstance or the issue, any normal person would consider that this is kind of pretty regular. And under regular and standardized patterns or condition inside the fields of person and individuals' guarantees, just like judicial secrecy and secrets of secret protocol affected by interference, which imply equally extended violations by state arbitrary or institution. We call the embassies and this International Criminal Court to be at this and observe at least. We exposed by proofs not only at mail and personal accounts violated, but also at mostly total open data to protect this theory and interest hurt, which are extended victims by fake records, and indeed has finally shown quite obvious that the intellectual development that private living leads to economic espionage if it has value as utility, or a protocol that we required on May 2022 to protect the criminal authorities in Brazil and peers related with, because we know since that time that you cannot have institutional crime without criminals inside, and we require, but you considered all things, even made to preserve you something, ridiculous. So we, as credit, must have sure that the list will be broadcasted to do not have this credit linked with those institutions and offenders. It's the anti-crime purpose. And was sounding quite obvious that the intellectual development at private living leads to economic espionage if this private living got hurt by acts of arbitrariness or violence systematically made and with no excuse to be presented by states or institutions as solidarity at guiltiness. Required conviction of all at criminal use of power, considering obstruction and fake record as gateway of criminal arrays, interconnected and kept hidden by hands, doing the fake record, summary conviction of heads by financial regression from institution until the heads doing the orders, or the abusive in evil use of power, survival strategy, housebound theory, economic and financial control, part 2. We require that this complaint to be formally presented, observed integrity of rise as an accusation by the prosecution and received by the judge, the architecture, and having one more time the thing by the prosecution and things normal to convict all summary because it's a notorious fact. And guarantees including the credit expressed as natural reply to call equally consequence affordable or validate against such tremendous cowardice proven as hidden acts of illicit use of power. And you must go hidden because it's illicit use of power. The obvious is obvious. Then it's unveiled by debt relation totally dishonest because as debtors you got viewed as criminals. We observe that the consumer law in Brazil has the article 8 and 10 that is about the basic rights of the consumer, and the 8 is the consumer must have the best way as ways to offer the proof. I never had. 10 is the regular public service. If we are suffering an interference, we will probably modify things we do, even as real time, and can change the context of the cognition. But also will expose if you change the context or cognition during the remote access of something as a machine, and then you will set, for instance, the compensation or to release criminals. Indeed, it's not the way of an individual complaint, have something this way, especially at the group receiving the privilege as objects linked with the complaint and complained object. But things are amazing. And exposed as guideline of our reply made that it's specifically proved by this credit as single credit and founder of this portfolio that because he created a self-defense. I have the right to protect myself and preserve my integrity. At least try as a shot because it's not fair be qualified as criminal or whatever by fake records during interference in everything and to put you down, destroy your property, your effort, your career, your profession, and grades you have, the things you do for something that is considered a offense thing, be extremely dangerous criminal offender had the use of power. But the power as used has one of the things as the transparency and accountability. Can you present the accountability required a dozen times as a guarantee of discredit? No, and then request one more time to list the institution and offenders to be presented as criminal, qualified this way as criminal use of power, implying criminals inside the state and institution and do not have relation with them. They are kind of out of purpose in a ways. An abusive procedure such as criminal use of power at state or institution indeed has no excuse, and implied organized crime as notorious and necessary fact inside the interval segmented as corruption, not only in Brazil but exposed from here the trust scam as most complex and deeper level of corruption, which leads to current criminal workflow at states and institutions in Blazing Act as organized crime in a transcontinental level. Financial system, debt relation, you unveil this debt system with criminal behavior at institution, criminal organization, transcontinental international financial system, white collar crime, international corruption, FIFA, Olympics, Covid, offering also which leads to current criminal workflow at state and institution in Blazing Act as organized crime in a transcontinental level, action domestically or internationally made, transnational organized crime and major threats. Offering also another solid demonstration to repeat as frequency or effort made to keep sure that this asset operated by utility value was under aggression as anti-crime background resistance right reduced, even by the continuity of procedures to observe things that are notorious, that is the reversal logic of silence. It's the lenient behavior, right? It's kind of you do not apply the proper prophylaxis and not have a person totally not heal totally a person or disease. Indeed, you are improving the intelligence of criminal thing or the disease. It's an association as a parasite, at the institution combined with the organized crime that goes by this kind of behavior. And it's an institutional behavior as self-determination, allowing to qualify the institution as part of the organized crime. So, number one, we will have that not all judges or members of power are criminals, but silence integrated, all at the same array. Right? Presented reasons or risky peers at person. You must complain your peer. Are you equals? You all. The what? No guarantees. The white label portfolio got hurt by power misuse. Has a mission against crime, sourced as self-defense, preservation, and protection. Remembering yet that a large number of aggression or violations proved as criminal practice, or at least as misconduct on power, misuse gone for intimidation or worse results, as death, annihilation, contamination, whatever. As self-determination qualifying power misuse as risky groups. Organized crime, number 3, state and institutional behavior was intentionally designed, as we proved 15 seconds ago, at tier level by criminals and criminal groups combined by solidarity at power misuse in order to cover power previously misused. We had been using the intelligence source at number 4 as self-defense and legal complaint, observing regulatory premise and police under accreditation against institutional crime from local areas until pandemic, and having sustained face-to-face decision on names based on complaint made by circumstances against misuse of power. This was the credit note, and respectful consideration. We will stop and move for the intelligence we have.